Hi everyone, Todd here from Great Escape Farms again with a quick video. Actually, this will be video 1 of 2 of seed starting. So I'm getting ready to, this is the very end of January, almost February. I'm getting ready to set up to start my seeds. So I figured I would do a before, and then after I get everything in, I'll do an after. I will have a blog post with pictures going along the way here. So I want to show you the room and the setup. This is how it sits from late spring until late winter, which is right now when I'm actually getting this started. So this is a tropical plant which came in the late fall. Couldn't handle the outside weather, so that I sprinkle a little water on. I'm down to about once a month, so it doesn't get taken real good care of, but things lasted about 8 years now. This is some soil left over from last year, as well as the white bag in the back. That one is new from this year. And some new seed starting kits I got. They were $4.50 each, I believe, like $4.47 or something like that from Walmart. So I picked up 6 new ones there, and a tray that I just planted last week. I bought some Egyptian walking onions from online. So didn't take a video of that. I will include some pictures. I did take pictures of that process. I got a sink here I use for watering everything. Those are some trays from last year, as well as some that are brand new I haven't used yet. So the ones from last year, I'll need to actually wash those off, and I'll have to use a water and bleach solution. Can't remember the exact ratio of water to bleach. I'll include that in the show notes. That is the table that I will have everything planted on, and over there is where my lights sit. I actually have they are plant rated lights, multi-spectrum UV, and I have them wired up. They will actually, I don't know if you can see the chains here, but they will be hanging from these chains, so you won't be able to walk. I'll set the table up in the center right here, and the lights will be hanging right below on top. So let me step back. So at the moment I have a lot of usable space here, but from pretty much February 1st to about the end of mid to end part of May, it is totally filled up in here with plant stuff. Let me show you one other thing. So I have these old coffee cans here, and actually, as I see the light here now, you can barely see it, but I have them labeled. This one says seeds from February, and then let me pop the lid off. I have several different baggies in here, and this one, yeah, this is really tough to see. This one says plant in mid-February inside. Lay that one aside. This one is just plant February inside, and then I have a couple other miscellaneous ones in here. I also have, that one says stratify. I have, those are seeds for April. So I have seeds that get planted in February, March, April, and May. I have some that go inside, some that go outside. So I have them all labeled as far as where they go, so it's easy when it's time to plant them, so I don't forget stuff, and it's just a lot better to be organized. Also, these containers here, it helps keep moisture out. So you seal them up. They keep moisture out. I keep them in the basement, in a dark spot. It's cool in the basement, so that's what seeds like to actually stay viable. Is they like it cool, they like it dry, and they don't like a lot of sunlight or light on them. And that's the best way to keep them viable. So this system's worked for me for quite a while. I actually have some seeds in here I bought back in, I think, 2012, and planted them last year, and they did just fine, and planted some more. Hopefully when I plant them this year, they will be just fine as well. I also have some seeds I've been saving myself, as well as ones that I have bought. So I'll be doing a video on seed saving a little later this year, probably midsummer or so, when I actually get some seeds. So that's it for part 1. I will come back with part 2 when I actually have this whole area right here all filled in and ready to go. Actually, I will have some plants planted. Shout out to my dog there, Murphy, who seems to be always helping me when I'm planting stuff. That's it for now. Hi, Todd from Great Escape Farms here again. This time I'm talking about starting seeds indoors, and I'm going to start out showing you what I use for my mix here. So I have vermiculite, potting soil, shows his garden soil. It's kind of like potting soil, and then some organic garden soil over there. What I do is I take 3 cups of those and put it into a 5-gallon bucket. So here's the cup I use right here. It's a cup the kids got from cereal box or something. I don't know where the hell it came from, but 3 of these cups, I put it in here, and then I just mix it up by hand, and then I put it into my 72 cell mini greenhouse here. And I'm going to hand the camera over to my assistant here while I uncrate this, and I'll show you the process I go through. So here's my lovely assistant and bride, Trisha. Okay, so what I do is I take this off, and when you order these, they come stuck together. So what, you just kind of bend it back and forth and break these apart into 4 pieces. You got to be a little careful not to rip them. There you go. Pull this out, and I'm going to just lay it under there. And I'm going to put these back in here because I forgot to do one step already. And there and here. So the one step I forgot to do is to actually mark these, so when you're taking them out and watering them and stuff, you get them in the right spot. So this is the 3rd tray. So what I do is I write 3-1, and this one is going to be a 3-1, and then I'll come over to this side and I do a 3-12, and then a 3-12, and that way when I pull this out, I know that this side is 312, 311, 10, 9, 8, each row. So basically I have rows of 6 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high, and then going this way I have the columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12. That way I can keep it straight. I'll come back to that in a minute with how I label things. Okay, once that's done, pull these out. I put in, you'll notice this doesn't have any holes in it, so it keeps water from dripping all over the place. These do have water in them. All right, these do have holes in them, and that allows the water to drip through and not rot the plants out from having too much water sitting in them. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this one in the center, and I'm going to take the cup of dirt that I had, and I'm just going to start filling it up here, just like this. And the reason I have just the one in here is it protects any overflow. It just kind of keeps things a little bit neater, so I don't make a complete mess of everything here, because I am in the house. Remember, we're doing indoor seed starting here.
He needs to keep the wife happy.
Yes, I don't want to upset the assistant here, so I got to keep everything looking nice, or as nice as possible. And that's it. Okay, so I have these. Just take off any extra there. This one's ready to go, and I would set this aside, do the other 3 here, and end up with a full tray. But I've already done that over here, so let's move over to this one. This is a full tray. This is what it would look like. I've actually planted in all the way across up to, and I've done the entire back section. I've not planted this last row right here, and I'm going to plant that in 1 second. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that right now. So what I do, I have both a pen and a pencil here. The pen I use to write with. The pencil I use just to make my little holes here. So I just stick it in, I rough it up depending on how deep they go. So I'm doing purslane right here. Purslane needs to be right near the surface. So all I did was kind of scratch the surface up a little bit. I have to pull this totally out to get my fingers in here. Big fat fingers have a tough time getting in little bags. So I just pull out a pinch and I just kind of spread these out. And with the dark seeds and the dark soil, you probably couldn't even see that. So you just want that pretty much on the side or on the surface, and just kind of press it in. And that's it for planting here. Then we'll go ahead and, actually I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Then we'll water this, and the way we're going to water it is from the bottom up. So I already have a tray over here full of water, and what I'm going to do is basically set it in here and allow it to wick the water up from the bottom through the holes in there that I pointed out earlier. And in a minute you'll see the Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but you'll be able to see the color on the top change, and like right here, I can see a little moisture going. Please don't drop the camera. So you actually see it wicking up. So this is moist enough right now. And what I do, again, because I'm in a house, to prevent it from making too big a mess, I take it out of here and I lay it right in the sink. So with that, I can allow my assistant to go on her merry way. I appreciate your help a lot. I still have a couple things here I want to video, so I will go ahead and take the camera back and finish up with the video. Thank you, Tricia. Okay, so the other thing, if you remember, I numbered these. The tray I just did when I labeled them was 3-1. The tray that I just planted into here was 1-1. So it's 1-1 through 112. So the way I label them is the year. So I give spring of 2016, the actual date that I planted, because I'm only doing one tray on February 1st or the very end of January. I'll do another one in mid-February, and then I'll do another one on March 1st. So this way I know when I planted things, and I write the row that I have, the name of the plant, and then that leaves me a lot of room over here on the side for different notes. So I take notes such as how long it takes for them to the seeds to pop up, any issues that I have, if I do different things. So you remember I have a row of 6. So on this velvet mesquite here, that one required scarification, scarification is where I have to actually scratch the seed a little bit. So I did the front 3 with no scarification. I just put it in the ground to see what would happen. And then the back 3 I took and I did some sandpaper with, and then put them in the ground. So we'll see how that works out. I'll do some more with other scarification later, and that scarification will be where I actually pour some boiling water on it and let it sit overnight. So I promised you in my last video I would give you a view of what it looks like, how this room comes together. So you'll notice the lights right here closest to me are up high and the other ones are down low. For plants just starting out, I want them very low and on top. As they mature and get a little taller, I want to raise them higher. Well, this one right here in front of me is raised just so that I have a better working area, because I'll start putting my plants in at the far end and work this way. By the end of April, this table will be full and the lights will be adjusted accordingly based on the height of the plants. I'll also have plants on this table, but for right now, this is a work table as well. And same thing, I have chains right here with little hooks on them so I can adjust the height of this. So I have it up as high as I can get it right now, just so that I can use this as a good working area. So I believe that's all I was going to show this time around. Oh, one other thing. You'll notice in the back, on top of the onions, let me see if I can get over there without killing myself getting around the back side here. You'll notice I have the lid on this. So the onions have not popped up yet, and the only reason I put that in, it's in the middle of winter, it's very, very dry in the house, and the dirt will dry out awful quickly just because there's no humidity. So I put this on top until they sprout up. I don't want to leave it there too long or I'll come up with mold and fungus issues, but it will help keep the humidity, kind of a greenhouse effect. I'll do that for a week or two and then I'll pull those off. So that's about it for now. Please visit the blog post at greatescapefarms.com, and we'll have another video coming for you shortly. Hey guys, Todd with Great Escape Farms back here again. I'm afraid I forgot a few things I wanted to share with you. So first off, let me come up here. If you notice, this light is now off. I normally keep these lights off if I don't actually have plants underneath them. So just to save a little electricity, I'll keep only the ones on the end on down there. This one will also be shut off in a minute, but I wanted to show you that what I have is a timer here, and I have it to come on about 6 a.m. and it goes off about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I'll get about 16 hours of light coming on here. So this is a fully automatic system. If I need to go away somewhere for a weekend, the lights come on, they go off. I only water about once a week when they're small. When they get a little bit larger, they do end up going through a little bit more water, and I'll deal with that when that happens. But early on, it's a very self-sufficient system. Kind of check on them. I'm down here about every day checking on them just because I get excited, but I don't need to be down here. I only have to be down here once a week to take care of them initially, and then about every 3 days or so once they get a little bit older. So wanted to pass that on to you here, the timer piece, as well as shutting these lights off here. So that's it for now. Please visit the blog post, greatescapefarms.com.